So let's go back to the beginning. When y'all first auditioned for this, and I know that you all sort of joined the show at different times, you know, what did you know when you were auditioning? Did you know that you were even auditioning for Smallville?
I can't stand
Gary.
What we knew about the show when we auditioned, and then I knew it was a Superman show. I knew all of that, but it was that I thought that would be our theme song. Probably wouldn't have.
It was a sweet song, but I guess the show needed more energy to open up, right?
Yes.
And what about the rest of you? What was it like when you were auditioning? Did you sort of have an inkling of how big this show might be? You know, did you look at the script? I mean, obviously, Erica, you had an inkling.
I did. I was like, well, this is a sure thing. Let's try to get on this one.
Did it put more pressure on you, knowing like this is the thing to audition for?
No, because I really didn't think that they would hire me. So I was just like, oh, this will be really fun. But they don't hire out of Vancouver ever. And then they did.
I didn't have to audition.
Oh.
John Glover.
Wow.
Two-time Tony Award-winning actor, John Glover. You know, I've told that story, but I didn't want to do it because I thought it was just going to be some fluffy Warner Brothers kind of goofy Superman show. Like, yeah, that's not for me. I don't know anything about superheroes and that stuff. No, they want to do something real. They want it to be grounded. I mean, somewhat grounded. And so I went in because I had nothing to lose and I didn't care. You know, when you go in and you just whatever. That's when you're your best. That's when you're brilliant. Yeah, when you want it too much, game over. And so I went in there and I remember the casting director standing there and she had it all lit up and she goes, okay, you're gonna sit here. I go, nah, I don't think I'm gonna sit. She goes, what? Well, I have to relight it if you're gonna stand up and walk around. I go, yeah, that'd be cool. She goes, okay, can you go outside? And I went outside for 10 minutes and she was pissed.
Don't take this as advice, any aspiring actor.
No. And I
this
went.
Is not the advice portion.
and I, because they were like, 700 guys auditioned for this. So I'm like, well, what did they do wrong? What do you want? Because there's a lot of great actors out there. They go, we want charisma, we want this, brilliance, and all these things. And I go, okay, I'll be smart here, I'll be charismatic here. And I circled the 3 pages that I had, and I went in, and my agent called me a week later and goes, they want you to come test for the network in the studio. And I go, no. And I wasn't being a dick, I swear. I just was like, I'll never be that good again. Ever. Tell them to rewind the tape because you could rewind it back then. And he goes, you're gonna lose the job. I go, all right. And he goes, you son of a bitch. It's yours. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I still thought they would fire me when I got on set.
Not in the advice portion.
Yeah. Again, it was just, I don't know what I was thinking, but it worked this time.
It worked for that character.
So you went in with nothing to lose, you got it, and then you lost your hair for 10 seasons.
Yeah, I think in my feeble mind, I thought that I wouldn't have to shave it every day, that they would let it, a week's growth, I'll be, and they're like, no. And they were like, in the beginning, they're like, we're gonna have to shave your head again today. And no. But it was a crazy process, but it was just different. I remember looking in the mirror and going, it actually helped me. It turned me into the character. When I was bald, I looked in the mirror and I go, wow. But I thought they were gonna fire me because I wasn't as pretty as these people. And I had this weird knot on the back of my head, which I tried to have the camera guy just not film. It was like this big matrix bump. But anyway, it worked out. Oh, thank you. I had a sexy father too. See? Oh boy. Oh boy.
So you mentioned a bit.
Okay, John.
Oh, he's on my.
This is what he did on set. He would come up to me and go, Lex. And I go, stop, what are you doing? But he made it work. He made it work, you perv.
No, at first. No, but at first, you know, Michael's kind of a cut-up when you're trying to, you know, on another level and everything. But I realized that what he was doing was making me feel like Lex needed help. So, but I was ready to kill him a couple of times for shooting scenes. Yeah.
I thought, you know, in the beginning, like, I was like, John, this guy doesn't like me at all. I don't know what to do.
You were establishing our relationship.
Yeah, I think so. I was intimidated by you.
It's all about the art.
And then I threw you out a window. It was perfect.
So you touched a bit about sort of the genre of it all, and you know, the show sort of mixed genres together. You know, we had the teen drama element, we had the superhero element, and a lot of that really wasn't formed until after the show came out. What is it like when you look back and think about the legacy of the show? What are the things that have stuck with you the most of your experiences?
Kristen?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because, like, being there at that age, at that time, with so little experience, it all was like a blur, to use a term that in Smallville used a lot, but it was just such a crazy, kind of isolated world that we were in, and it's hard to, like, look at it contextually. Like, how do you pull out and see what's happening culturally? Like, you're so inside of it that we can't. But it was, I remember just the little things that we got to do, and ride horses and fight and do these great scenes and be with each other, and that's kind of what stuck with me, and not the macro stuff.
And also, like, when we did it, not everything was shared, or
Yes,
there wasn't
yes.
the social media, so like you could go to the studio and do your little thing and have this, it just felt smaller, and then the exposure was quite a bit different. And now, I mean, people are on it and they get that kind of real life feedback maybe, and they,
Yeah, we were super isolated in our own little world, which was lovely.
I got to kiss Kristen once.
This is a myth that you've started. This is a mythology.
Wait, he never kissed you?
No, it rewind the tapes. I was being somebody else. Maybe it was when me and Clark changed. But yeah, I remember
right?
kissing her. She did not put her tongue down my throat like Uma Thurman did, and
She did.
she's the problem. That was just rude of her. And it would get deeper and deeper. She messed up the thing, so we'd have to do it again and again and again. Until we got a tongue.
Oh my God. You know what's funny?
I got excited again.
I just remember thinking, this is the biggest thing I'm ever gonna do when I was on it. I was like, you know, because sometimes the acting might be good, or sometimes the filming might be good, the cinematography, sometimes the directing, but when all the things sort of come to me, it's like lightning in a bottle. And when I remember being on set, and the explosions in the set, and the money they put in it, it was intimidating. And it was like you wanted to be great, and you were like in over your head. And I just remember being just like, I just wanted to be great. I have to be good. I have to step up. And there was a lot of pressure I probably put on myself. Maybe we all did. But it was amazing. It really was. To have a show that lasts 10 years and then to be able to come out here 10 years after it ends and see all you guys, it's freaking awesome. It really is awesome.
I had no idea. I mean, I think somebody dropped out, and my agent called me and said they're doing this show about Clark Kent before he becomes Superman, and the guy who was going to play Lex's father dropped out, and it's just one scene, and they might have you back for some other episodes. And so I thought, well, I'll do do it and never see it again and watch it. And then it kept going, and they would ask me to come back, and then it started getting sort of. But then they'd ask me to come back, and I had different jobs because I didn't have a contract. And then the second season, I had a contract with that's called Golden Handcuffs, where you can't do anything else, but you've got a job, and it's a real dilemma because you want to live, and it takes some money to live. But that's the one, you only got to do that. Anyway.
It's kind of a be careful what you wish for in a lot of ways because it's such a gift and we're so grateful. But when you get a part like that, again, we're up in Vancouver and 10 months a year, that's our life. So those 10 years, whatever, are a bit of a blur. They're just like the family, your family is now the crew and the cast. And I would see them more in a day than I probably spent with my mother or my father in many years. So it was like, it's a commitment, and it's worth it, but it's a lot.
And family. I think you think, why are we here today? And it's because it was such a beautiful families were on the show. And family becomes more and more important as we get older and older.
Yes. And John, what's funny you say that is, the families that have come up to us and said, this is what we watch Tuesday nights as a family, or my dad and I watch this. And
we learned from you.
Yeah, and I just love it. Like, somebody just came up to me and was like, my father passed, but this is what we had. We had Smallville together, and I'll always remember that. And that is just like, wow. It's awesome. It's really awesome.
I love hearing y'all talk about sort of the family aspect, and y'all touched on when the show was out, social media was not nearly as big as it is. One of the things that became very obvious to me when I was prepping for this panel is how much you all interact on social media, how much you are each other's cheerleaders. What is it like having maintained that friendship for as long as you have and continue to sort of be involved and contribute in each other's projects? I've seen you have both been on Talkville.
I just want to say that I think our friendships are stronger now.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
100%. Like Erica, we would pass each other and we'd be like, hey, how are you? Or we'd have one scene. But now we've become great friends and we both deal with anxiety and life things and we talk about those things. And she's been on the pod. And John, I think we've gotten closer, and Kristen for sure. And it's like, I think so, John. Anyway, no. It is. It's nice, and it's funny because you look at all these other shows like Arrow, and they have millions of followers. I'm like, we would have had millions of followers if we started back. And we started that show. We were before that. We got that going. Stephen Bell, are you out there?
It is really funny though because, like with Erica and I, we never really worked together. We had a couple scenes here and there, but for some reason with this show, and maybe it's because of Michael partly coming out doing these conventions and seeing each other more regularly, we've as adults really forged, like Erica and I have a lovely friendship and we see each other and it's just been such a gift. It's been amazing. Like we get to meet you guys and we also get to know each other better. And that's really nice, like outside of work where it's weird. Work is always a little weird.
I think what's special about it too is sometimes you have these experiences where, for 5 years, 6 years, or 10 years for you guys, you work on something that is so life-altering and changing and then that might be your only experience of something that intense. So if you have a friendship with someone who knows you from that space in your life and then continues on through all of your other stuff, it's super special because usually you kind of have to just kind of lobotomize that part of you that did that show because nobody knows you from it.
Yeah, it's rare too. And like Tom and I, like Tom, he was in every scene. The last thing he wanted to see was my face in his real life. And I understood that. And we always had fun on set. We always respected each other. But we've developed this friendship, and now we have a podcast, and now I love his family. His wife, well, his new wife, is awesome. And, no. I'm kidding. I didn't mean it like that.
Wait, we're not unflinching honesty.
No. I meant I love his new wife. I didn't mean I didn't love his old wife.
Are you calling her old?
Jesus.
You're good. It's okay.
Okay, there's no way to backtrack. It's all good.
What?
It's all good.
Let it be.
Some
Fantastic. So y'all, we are going to be transitioning to audience Q&A soon. So there's going to be a microphone set up in two of the aisles, so go ahead and line up. And I know that Elliot already gave you some great housekeeping instructions. Yeah, smile for the camera. When you ask your question, please introduce yourself and let us know where you're from. And as they're getting lined up, one quick question for you, Kristen. I saw that you are an avid reader.
I know
Your TBR pile is like, what are you reading right now?
I'm actually back. I'm back. I'm reading The Idiot.
Okay.
Because I haven't read it. Did you read it?
Dostoevsky.
No.
The Idiot.
The Elif Belchaman?
Oh.
Yeah, it's like got that pink cover with a rock on it.
Oh, I don't know this.
I saw The Rock.
But I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to ask for book recos.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
I read it.
Oh, so good.
Yes, did you guys like it? Yes.
Okay, we are going to go to questions before Kristen and I talk for 2 hours.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna start right over here. Hi, what's your name? Where are you from?
Hi, my name is Matt, and I'm born and raised here in Chicago.
All right. Thanks for yelling, Matt. We love you.
Yeah, and I've been a loyal Smallville fan since back in 2001 when my father used to record the TV shows. I was like 10 to 11 back then.
Thanks for making us feel old.
Thank you. Matt, what's your question for us?
So, Smallville is the one franchise where people get affected by kryptonite, and they get numerous effects. So let's say you guys got affected by either kryptonite color, whether it was red, green, even gold itself. What would be one superpower that you got that you never got in either the series? And what color would you choose?
Mine would be purple to match all my Lex shirts. And what kind of special power would I have, John?
Manners. You have
Super, John, super manners. Super manners.
I know what I'm talking about. But I'd have gold. Gold. Lionel lives in gold. Yes.
He'd have the power to just snap his finger and his clothes would be removed.
I don't know what color kryptonite. I would like to be able to turn into and out of being an octopus.
Wow. That was avant-garde.
I don't have any interesting answers. I think it would be pink and the ability to not second guess myself.
Ooh, that's important.
Nice one.
Next question, here we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
I'm Sellers from Iowa, and my question is mainly for Michael, but I want to ask all of you. Now that you have the podcast, has rewatch...
Quiet! Sorry, there was a baby crying.
That's my boy. That's my boy.
Michael, now that you have the podcast, has rewatching every episode given you a different perspective on the work you put in every day on set? And for all of you, like, has 20 years later, looking back on the show and the longevity it has, like, are you surprised by the fandom that keeps growing each year?
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I hadn't seen so many of those episodes. I had no clue what was going on. So now rewatching them with Tom and like talking about them, it's pretty crazy. I'm really hard on myself, but sometimes I'm like, all right, you were in the moment. Sometimes I'm like, no, you were hamming it up. You were hamming it up, dude. So I'm very critical, but I'm hard on the show, but I also love it. Like I'm able to be like, because some of the fans are like, Rosenbaum shits on the show, so every once in a while, and I don't, but I give an honest critique where they're always giving like 2 roses or 1 roses, and I'm like, it was in the middle, it was all right. I don't like that cheesy crap, but it's a cool perspective just to 10 years later to kind of revisit it. Guys, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's always surprising and wonderful that there's now multi-generationally people are coming up, as we just mentioned before, and they like the show so much, and it's awesome to have been a part of something that's so positive for people.
By the way, the baby stopped crying.
I think you made them leave.
No.
Anyway.
You shy. Look what you're wearing. How could you be shy? Live it up. Ask your question.
So, I know I'm making y'all feel really old right now. I'm sorry.
It's okay, you're allowed to. It's okay.
So when the first ever episode dropped, that was technically like 15 days after my 4th birthday. And I grew up with my mom just like constantly watching it all the time. So it's like I started going along with it as well. That's what got me into superheroes as a whole, and then also the stories surrounding them from the people that surround them. How do you feel knowing that y'all started off everything in the CW when it comes to the DC TV, as well as the other iterations of your characters? Because there were a lot, so.
I really believe that, like, I'm not tooting our own horn, but like, we were the only show like that. We started out, we were doing these cinematic little movies every week, and it gave the studios a lot of ideas. We started to turn it into all the Arrow universe and Superman and Lois and all that stuff. It really just, it saw how successful it could be, and using the same model and the same DP, Glenn Winter, and a lot of the same crew, they created these other shows, and all the power to them. But it's really an honor to see that we started something. So you look back and you're not going to see like some of the effects might not stand up, and you know, it was a little bit campy at times, but it was the first, so we were going to have our mistakes, but we also had some great storylines and great character development and some amazing episodes. So.
And Erica, you got to revisit Lois for the crossover event. What was it like jumping back into that role with Tom after all that time?
It was really fun. We hadn't seen each other for almost a decade. And I dropped off a set and he was at Crafty eating.
Yeah, as you do.
And it was as if we had just, gone for a long lunch or something somewhere. And all that time hadn't passed. And it was really fun, and I thought they tied it up really well. And yeah, we had a great time.
Fantastic.
Didn't you do Superman and Lois too? Or Supergirl? You didn't do an episode?
Yeah, I did do Supergirl. I was like, no. Oh wait, yeah, I did.
But you played a different character.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was really fun.
Yeah?
It was a little bit weird because it was some of the same sets and some of the same gimmicks that we used to do, but it was all different.
Nice cast?
Nice, yeah.
You like them all?
Yes. Michael, we're not doing a podcast right now. I don't want to be honest.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello, I'm Laura from the Chicagoland area. I actually had this opportunity to ask Tom the same question several years back in a panel, but John, for you. Season 4, episode 6, Transference, likely the episode where you got to kiss Kristen. What was that like, trying to embody a character who was 18 years old and act as Clark versus Lionel?
Yeah, it was very hard because Tom has this ability to be still and listen, and it's very powerful. And I'm full of kind of tricks and things and keeping things moving, and I learned a lot from him. Yeah, because he was kind of brilliant with me. Have a gesture that I would do with my tongue. Tongues are important. Tom.
John. John, Tom.
Tom like that. Anyway, yeah.
Tom tells the story with you. How you went, you go, how do you do nothing? How do you, he says that, then you're trying to.
Tom could do nothing powerfully, and I just felt like an asshole.
It's okay, that baby left. We can curse.
He stopped it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question.
Hi.
Hi, y'all. I'm Caprice from Chicago. Hello.
And we love your hair.
Oh,
Yes.
that's true. Guys, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
We like it.
Her hair reminds me of a warm, safe place where as a child I'd hide.
Thank
Sorry.
Okay, well, that's a good segue to my question. I want to know if you all had a theme song for your character, what would it be?
I smell like sex and candy, yeah. Who's that lounging, the bald guy in the chair?
That is era appropriate.
Yes.
That's a very hard question.
Mustang Sally.
What about Erica? I'd have an emo song, but I don't know which one. Something sad.
It's true.
Lionel's a zippity doo dah.
I think that's John's.
Zippity doo dah, zippity yay. My oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine headed my way. Wonderful feeling, wonderful day. Truth,
It's actual.
everything is satisfactual.
Thank you so much. Hi.
Hello, my name's Nathan. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I just turned 23.
Hoosiers, baby!
Birthday! Happy birthday!
And for the longest time, just from season 2 or 3, and throughout, each one of you had Clark's powers or stole Clark's powers or like transferred. I was wondering, because Tom had to do it for the longest time, and when you guys got to do it, did you have to like pretend in your head, or when you're doing his stunts or heat vision, super strength, like did you have to get in the mindset or ask Tom for advice? Like, what was your main mind going using his powers?
I don't think I ever had. Did I have
didn't
his powers?
either.
I didn't have his powers, but I
None
had
of us
powers.
did except John.
I did? Oh, did I have to do like heat vision and stuff?
When you tried to kill Lex and Clark tried to stop you?
Was it the black outfit?
Yeah, black outfit.
Okay, I always admired Tom's ability to do all of his powers. I always thought it would be the most ridiculous thing and I would laugh all the time. But I do remember just watching him. He did simple things. Like he just squinted his eyes or, you know, it wasn't like he was doing anything extreme, but he committed to it and he didn't giggle about it. And I think I just mimicked that. But Lana was kind of evil in that episode, so I got to do it with like an evil intent.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. I never had Clark's
Well,
powers.
I just had to imitate him, so we
Yeah.
talked about that. That was just hard.
Zod?
Zod.
But I didn't have Tom's powers, did I?
They were the same though.
They're the same.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Sorry, guys.
You know what? Zod was not an easy character to play, and it's funny because I saw that, Michael, you'll be playing Zod and Lex. I'm like, cool, I get paid twice. Tom's like, no, you don't. You're not gonna get paid twice. I'm like, what do you mean? 2 characters. And I remember one time I was on these big wires, and they were flying me in.
This is one of my favorite stories. Continue.
And I remember they had me on these wires, and I had to go. I go to Tom like this, but the wires kept moving me, and I went, "Wires are moving! Stop it!" And Tom can't keep a straight face. And by the time that finally I went there, and I just had to look at him and go, "Kneel to Zod." I mean, it was non-stop laughter. I could not get kneel to Zod. And Tom's like looking at me like this. It was just, some things were very embarrassing, but we got through them. Thank you. Next question.
Hi.
Hello, my name is also Nathan from Macomb, Illinois. My question is for Mr. Rosenbaum. One of my favorite things you've done is pool hall junkies.
Oh, thank you. That's one of Tom's favorites too. He likes
Yeah.
it.
So I was curious, do you have any cool stories or anecdotes or words of advice from Christopher Walken that he might have gave you the characters?
You know, he was a weird dude, man. Like, hey, my name's Michael Rosenbaum. I'm working with you. Should I call you Chris? Should I call you Mr. Walken? He goes, I don't know. He says, call me Flash. And then he walked away. And the next day, I was yelling, Flash, Flash. Totally ignored me. And then one time I was like going, I'm a Jew, so I didn't get offended, but I remember he goes, I go, hey, Mr. Walker, we're going for some sushi. You want to go? He goes, there's a good sushi place in town. It's called Sosumi Sushi. It's a Jewish place. It wasn't racist. racist or whatever. I don't know if it's a race, but it made me laugh. He was being funny. He knew I was Jewish. It was all right. Thanks, but he was great. I mean, it's just weird. He signed my King of New York poster, and I go, yeah, you can just put Chris Walken. He goes, Chris Walken. And then he put 2000, the year we filmed. He goes, and he circled it twice. He looked at me and goes, 2000. I go, thank you very much. It's been a real treat. But he got pissed on set one time. It was a first-time director, Mars. And they only had Walken for 3 days. He probably got paid $1 million, which is half the budget. And he was pissed because he was in his trailer for a long time, which we're used to being in a trailer.
It happens.
And he walked out on the set one day and he goes, Mars. And everybody looked, and there's Mars, the director. Goes, today's my last day. And he walked out. And Mars goes, oh shit! And he ran after Mr. Walken. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Let me guess, your name's Nathan.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Lourdes. I'm from Brazil.
Lourdes.
Yeah. And I want to ask about looking back, how all the guys changed something about your characterization. Sorry about my English, a little.
It's great.
You're fantastic.
Or they changed something about it, or they wish your character to go in a different path.
Ooh, yeah, so if you had the opportunity.
Kristen would say yes.
I mean, yes and no. I think that it would be more about the process of playing the character. If I knew what I know now, it would be a totally different experience, obviously. But I wish I had just been able to have more of a sense of my craft so that I could, shape her more consciously instead of being so kind of reactive. And the character was reactive, as well as I was reactive. But I would change that, and I would hope for her to have a little more agency, to have like dreams, to have things that she was going for that were outside of the context of what she was living in. Although she went through so much trauma, so I understand. I understand.
Erica?
Yeah, it was something people have said, oh, I love that you made her so like kind of quirky and neurotic, and how did you make her like that? And I was like, oh, it was just me. Super stressed out, and trying to join this cast and that kind of thing. And so I think I was just trying to basically, I felt like I was catching up to a running train. So I don't think I would change how I approach it, because I think that was part of what ended up being charming about her. But yeah, I liked her. I think she was pretty cool.
I love her. Would you change anything about your character? We loved Lois. She was awesome.
Now this Lois would be so tired and like jaded and sleepy. Like, whatever, fight your own fight.
We had some scenes together, right at your beginning, right? Yeah, I played with you. Now that is you all have filthy minds.
John and I had a discussion to just
Listen, there was no Lionel Luthor before. I mean, they created a Lionel Luthor. And I could see that they were going in a direction where it was a bit of a cliche of having just a sort of an evil father. I mean, so I started trying to get some love in, and some do it for Lex's benefit to help him, but they started hearing me and sort of went off into the direction that I was trying to push them. So I feel I was pretty successful about it, and of making him a human being instead of just a villain. So one of the best compliments that happened several times, people stop me and say, all right, okay, so are you supposed to be a good guy or a bad guy? I can't decide. What is it? So that was, for me, the best compliment I ever got. I mean,
well deserved, Johnny. Well deserved.
I had a fabulous time working on that part, because I was going through some stuff I was not having fun working, because I was sort of stopped doing the work and working for the money. And I was realizing what my mistake I'd made from this teacher that I had, who was a genius. And so I was all full of that. So there was movement in the character and everything. I feel it was successful, very successful. And I had a fabulous time doing it.
That's an example, though, of what I'm talking about, because John is such a great actor, and his toolkit is extensive, and you're very conscious in your work. That's what I wish I was able to do then. The thing that he just said he did with his character was able to like infuse it with all of this intention and shape it. That's the sign of someone who is skilled and is able to shape this work.
But that takes a long time.
It takes a long time,
And
exactly.
now
You can't do it out the gate.
Yeah, but now you're there.
Kristen, do you think that even with that is sort of what led you down this path of now you are acting and producing?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think a part of it is about having more control over the stories that you get to tell. And also, when you're not having to act all the time in something, you can tell things outside, like stories that don't involve something that would need you to be in it. And there are so many great stories, as you know, in the world.
My answer would just be I wouldn't change anything. All right, let's do.
Thank you so much.
Let's do rapid fire now, so we get more questions. So fast questions, fast answers. We have 13 minutes, so we can get to as many questions as we can. Here we go.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Tony, and I'm from Mexico. And sorry, this one's kind of long. I'm sorry. But Kristen, you were just talking about what you had learned, just what you were learning from John, and I wanted to ask you all just something maybe quick. What you've learned from each other, specifically, Kristen, you were just starting your career from each other, working with other actors who have such a great experience.
I would just say listen to each other and be respectful of each other's process. We all have our weird processes and just always respect that. That's what I would say.
And you can learn from everybody. Everybody, you know? There's no, it's like, look, watch. Learn from somebody who's making a mistake. And, you know, say, next. Yeah. All right.
I just learned from everybody's stillness. A lot of people were really still on the set and really quietly, kind of okay with what they were doing, and I tried to infuse that. Except for you, but that's okay.
Except for Michael.
You were also okay with you, though. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, that's another story.
Well, maybe.
I think I also learned, apart from like from each other, it's from the crew. Learning from how they are, what they're doing, what they're focusing on. I think that was really, really important on set.
Next question, here we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shorter, faster, here we go.
Hi.
Hi, Chris from Chicago. Michael, I love Inside of You. And
Thank you.
What's your favorite memory over the 10 years, like, or interaction that you had that stands out when you just think Smallville?
Just relationships, the fact that we can still talk and still are friends and still text each other. It's just, well, we never text each other because we didn't have it, but it's really nice. It's unexpected. I never expected that to happen, and it's a beautiful thing. John?
Oh, it was it happened in the street on the way to a restaurant, and we were passing a wine store, and there was a homeless man on the street there, and he asked for some money, and I gave him $5 or $10, and he said, thanks, and you're great on that TV show.
And then you're like, great, you're not homeless, are you? Erica.
That's my wonderful memory.
I just remember laughing at Tom. It was a really, really joyful time in my life.
When you asked the question, because we've been asked this before, but the first memory that came to mind is a photo shoot. We were on the farm. It was me, Tom, and Michael. And I hardly knew these people. This is the one that came to mind, and Michael picked my nose. And that was Smallville.
Who's to say, they say you pick your nose, you can pick your friend's nose. Wait, you pick your nose, you can pick your friend's, but you can't pick your friend's nose. But I did. So there you go. Next question.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, I'm Corey from Iowa.
Corey!
My question's for John. I'm a big fan of your performance as Daniel Clamp in Gremlins 2. Anything to say about your time on that movie, quickly?
I had a blast, and I'm thinking there should be a Gremlins 3 where Daniel Clamp is the President of the United States.
Thank you.
Yeah, really good movie, wasn't it?
I wouldn't mind that. He was more likable than the guy he was based on.
We're putting it out in the universe.
Thank you. Next question, my friend.
Hi.
Hey there. My name is Belle Zora, and I'm from Hutchinson, Kansas.
There we go.
Thank you. Next question.
Thank you. Hi.
Here's mic drop, right?
No, it's actually Kevin, my best friend's Mike.
Oh, nice.
I'm from Hammond, Indiana, and my question is, who's yours?
Who's yours? Who's your daddy?
Never met him, just kidding.
Now that's a Hoosier for you.
So I told Erica yesterday what my most memorable performance of hers from the show was. I was wondering if there was anybody from the show that you were either acting across from them or observing them or watching the episode that their performance just really stood out to you as being, oh my God, what a great job.
The jaw dislocating deer eater, and she killed it. I just watched people come in. I'm like, this is insane stuff. This is insane.
What happened to her career, though?
I don't know. She's like nowhere. I don't know.
Does anyone know?
She won an Oscar. That's what happened to her.
I think she's dating Superman.
Oh, really? Tom's dating her now that Tom's married. He's my Superman.
Oh boy.
All right, next question.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Hi.
Hi guys, my name is Brock. I'm from the Chicagoland area. My question is, you all were on Smallville for a different amount of time. When you exited from the show, what kind of stuff did you take with you, or did you take anything from the set?
Steal?
Take. Like physically or like in your heart?